Hi, let me introduce you to a very special game, Doki Doki Literature Club. This game is complex, it's meaningful, it has deep lore and incredible storytelling. So good, in fact, that I can't do a summary in under a minute. It's just because Doki Doki is a genius game, a true work of literature. So I'll do the analysis during the summary. It'll simplify things. As advertised, the literature club is full of cute girls. Will the player write their way into their hearts? Let's find out. Player launches the game. He is greeted by the Team Salvato logo and a nice message. Hmm. Well, look what we have here. This looks just like your typical dating simulator. So let's start the game so I can show you what's really going on. The story begins with the player being invited to the school's literature club by his childhood friend Sayori. The player accepts the offer and meets the other club members, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. The goal of the club is to share literature of your liking with the other members. But this being a dating simulator, you know why you're really there. The player progresses through the story by following the dialogue and by taking a series of choices. The members also share poems that they write, and with them, the player gets to learn each girl's personalities and unique traits. This is an important part of the game. The complex writing of the characters make you realize behaviors that relate to real-life problems. Sayori hides depression under her smiles and her cheery attitude. Yuri is shy and reserved, but she also is mentally unstable, leading her to be obsessive and prone to self-harm. Natsuki tries not to show that her dad is abusive under a tough and aggressive front. Monika is the only one that doesn't seem to have any problems at first. When playing the game, it really goes to show that Don Salvato spent a lot of time writing and designing these characters. The way the mental states were hinted at but never explicitly mentioned, and how everyone tries to hide what is troubling them. How the actions and reactions of the characters were so accurate to real life scenarios. It all comes together to create a game that is more relatable and deep than anyone could ever expect it to be. As he said himself on the game's Reddit thread, yes, I have used real-life experiences as the basis for Sayori's behavior, as well as various traits that the other club members exhibit. With that, the game is already way more than what it advertises. It exposes us to behaviors that could be shown by people around us that are afflicted by these problems, like depression, self-harm, and abuse. A quick search can lead you to find people that related to the characters and how the game helped them go through their own problems. Act 1 goes on for about 2 real-life hours and is spread out across 6 in-game days. This is when the player really creates an emotional bond with the other club members. The 5th day, through a series of events, Sayori interrupts the player with Yuri or Natsuki. She breaks down in tears, explaining how she should be happy for you, but that her heart is splitting in half, that everything hurts so much, that it would be so much better if she could just disappear. She then confesses, and should the player decide to reciprocate the feelings or decide to stay best friends, he receives the exact same amount of existential dread and regret. The next morning, you meet Monika in the club room. She tells you that you left Sayori hanging. Wait, what? How does she... No way, what? How does she know this? What? Was she there? I don't like this. Worried, you run to her house to see after her, but she doesn't answer the door. After what happened yesterday, you don't want to wake her up like this, but you have to. Okay, before I explain Act 2, if you didn't Alt F4 the fuck out of the game at this point, well, I want to congratulate you. You have balls of steel. But let's get back to the story. The game is replayed, but this time, it's broken, glitching more than that shady app you downloaded on totallynotascam.com. The girls are all crazy and way different than the first time. And guess what happens at the end of Act 2? Yeah, you got another death on your mind. At least Monica is still there to clean the mess. Right? I think I'm turning insane. You know, when you read a book or watch a movie, most of the time the people inside them act independently of the observers and don't know anything about what's outside their world. Like we know that our virtual AI girlfriend isn't the real person. Harry Potter doesn't know that he's part of a multi-million-dollar franchise. This gives the audience the opportunity to enjoy, judge, test, make fun of, and manipulate the characters all we like. Because behind a screen, we aren't really interacting with anyone. This is why breaking this barrier, also known as the fourth wall, makes us feel uncomfortable even though we remain anonymous. Games have the power to break the fourth wall, but also the ability to reveal very personal information that makes you super aware that you, yes, you, are part of this and that your actions are not anonymous like you thought they were. What makes it possible is a game's inherent interactivity. The fact that each of your actions has an impact on the development of the story. When Monica addresses you by your name after reading your computer, it puts your hamster ball of anonymity in a wood chipper. It's because we are not watching a game anymore. The people inside are watching us. This is bound to make anyone have shivers down their spines and make them think twice about their trust towards technology. In a world where teenagers post anything and everything on their social media, if a game can tell you where you live, identify you, and make you depressed, what can advanced algorithm and artificial intelligence do with the free data you give them? Act 3 is definitely the most uncomfortable. The game is totally different from the game you started with. Monica is the only one left. She tampered with the code to enhance the negative traits of the others? She knows that she's stuck in a game? She wants to get out? And she knows my name.
And for that reason, I'm out.